The night is here, the woman in black hissed. Okay, apparently Surprise was out. Still, even if they knew he was there, maybe Jack could still throw them a bit. I am here, he said, stepping out from around the corner. But I surrender. With that, he held the sword up, then slowly placed it on the ground. "Ye what?" the word-covered woman said. "You what?" the boy princess said. "I surrender," Jack repeated, stepping away from the sword. "You win." The man in brown held the knife closer to the fake princess. "It's some kind of trick," he said. The woman nodded. "I agree. Cut out the princess's heart." "No!" the boy princess screamed, his voice breaking in panic. "Quiet, princess," the man in brown said, lifting his knife high into the air. "Which orders and I obey. And as for you, little hero," the witch said, "you will join your princess in death." With that, she aimed another wand in Jack's direction, shouted a magic word, and shot a bolt of lightning straight at him. Jack dropped, then quickly dodged the second blast by rolling to the right. "Princess, your heart is mine!" the man in brown screamed, driving a knife down toward the boy on the altar. "I have you now!" the old woman shouted, aiming her wand right at Jack. Jack glanced quickly between the woman and the man in brown. He could either save himself or the princess. There was no time to do both. He instantly made his decision, aimed the ring, and fired it right at the witch. The fireball, 3 times the size of the previous ones, erupted from the ring and exploded into the witch's chest, lighting her black robe on fire. The witch screamed in terror as she frantically tore at her flaming clothing. The man in brown gasped, then rushed to the witch's side, dropping his knife to the ground as he ran. Jack used the distraction to retrieve his sword, then ducked under the altar to quickly cut through the captive boy's bonds. "Get up, princess!" he hissed, standing back up. "We have to..." And then he stopped, realizing he was too late. The boy princess's white gown was now stained with some kind of red liquid, and he lay on the altar with his tongue sticking out, not moving. Dropping his sword to the ground, Jack put his head in his hands. He had failed. The princess was dead. The furious witch grabbed Jack by his shirt and pushed him against the wall. Her eyes narrowed dangerously and her fake nose singed. "Jack!" she roared. "You could have killed me!" "I know. I'm sorry," he said, his face turning red. "I didn't know it would do that." When Steven used the ring, the fireballs were a lot smaller. He quickly removed the magic ring and held it out to the woman. She glared at him for a second before grabbing it from his hand. Then she smacked him in the head. "I don't care what Steven did," Julia, his teacher, told him. as she tore off the rest of her makeup. He knew enough to miss you. You, on the other hand, aimed right at me. Okay, ow, first of all, Jack said, rubbing his head. Second of all, you said to treat this test like it was real. And you were shooting lightning at me. What was I supposed to do? Said the princess from the altar. Can someone rescue me already? The princess's voice had gotten remarkably deeper since she died. Jack took a closer look and recognized Bertrand, one of the other boys from the village. Apparently Jack had missed one of the ropes, and Bertrand's arms were still tied down. Jack rolled his eyes. Rescue yourself, he said, tossing his fake sword to the princess. It hit the boy in his stomach, knocking the wind out of him. Well, congratulations, Jack, Julia said as she finished removing her costume. You failed. Not only did you handle every situation wrong, every single one, but you went after me when the real threat was the witch's servant. He killed the Princess Jack. But you were attacking me, Jack protested. If I had saved her, I would have died. Then what good would I have been to either of us? And what good were you now? Julie asked as the man in brown, Jack's teacher Stuart, quietly walked over to untie the still complaining princess. It's all useless anyway, Jack said, his face burning from his failure. We all know that there are no unmarried princesses left. Even if there were, I don't want to marry anyone, let alone some stuck-up royal. I'm just fine where I am. Jack turned to leave, but Julia grabbed his arm. This is important, Jack. You're the son of a criminal, Jack said, his eyes narrowing. And I don't want you to follow his lead, Julia said. This is for your own good. Being a hero, rescuing a princess, killing a dragon, these could really turn your life around. At least if you survive long enough. She glared at him. You're the only one in your entire class to fail the princess rescue test. Just go home, Jack. We'll talk about this later. Jack sighed and turned to leave. I don't care how the world works, he said over his shoulder. All this, it isn't me. And it never will be at this rate, Julia said, helping Stuart to yank the ropes off the fake princess. Thanks for nothing, Jack, the princess yelled at him, his wig and tiara falling off as he sat up.